Welcome to another Ask the Thais, where we get three of our staff and we ask them some questions about Thai life to hear it from, well, the horse's mouth, the people who are here in Thailand, the people who live here every day. When I say the horse's mouth, that's just a saying, nothing to do with horses. So firstly we have Kun B, welcome. We have Jibby, and we've also got Beer back as well, by popular demand. They love beer. Okay, so our first question today is, what is the Thai people's attitude towards ladyboys? Now, for many Westerners, sort of the subject of ladyboys is a bit of a giggle or a shock. But my understanding is that for a lot of Thai people, it's just part of Thai life. B, but what's your thoughts?
For me, my opinion is that no matter what the gender is, it doesn't matter for me. And the reason why I say this is because it's from my direct experience, because my brothers, he has a lady boy as a girlfriend, and fortunately they made it. They is together for about 12 years already.
Oh, okay.
So just frankly speaking, if she's a girl, then she's now become my sister-in-law already, if government allow them to get married.
What did your parents think about it at the time when they got together?
The first moment that they know, they a little bit like, really? And they a little bit like, they don't want to say, they don't know what to say. But once like the time passed by, I call her she proved herself, and she is now become the part of my family, and everyone in my family really love her.
Jimmy, do you have any ladyboy friends?
I have a lot of ladyboy friends when I study in the university. So I'm not really have a boy friend, but I have a ladyboy friends a lot, and they make fun every time when we go to school and class together. They always have a lot of sense of humor, and they are good. Like, okay, when we go out for activity, they always cheer up people. So I think I'm very happy to have a ladyboy friend in my life, and they are a good person no matter what gender they are. And then I think I'm not a straight person too, but I think it's no matter what the gender they are, if they are a good person, they didn't harm anyone, so the world is gonna be happy. That's what my opinion for the ladyboys.
And what makes the ladyboy friends special? Is it a sort of a sense of humour or a different outlook on life?
I think they're quite confident, and sometimes they're quite direct, like how to say, they always speak something that comes from their mind. If they don't like it, for example, do you think I wear this one okay? Instead of saying yes, they're gonna say no, I don't think so, like that. So that's the way of the ladyboy.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, tell the truth. Yeah.
B, do you have any ladyboy friends?
A lot.
A lot?
Yes, I have.
So what's the attraction to you as friends? Why are they good friends?
They frank to me, and they make me feel confident, to speak my opinion and the way I act.
How do your parents treat your ladyboy friends? Do they are they a little bit surprised?
No, they just feel good.
So what is it about Thai culture that is so accepting about something that in Western culture is a little bit more of a surprise? What is it about Thai culture, B?
It depends on the history of that family as well. For example, for some family, the parents, they are like soldier or policeman. They have their own way of thinking. They are quite strict, so it might be difficult to accept this kind of thing to happen with their family, like my family. But my family, we are not that traditional, and we seem to see
nowadays. I think many parents can accept their kids to be different.
Is it difficult to grow up as a ladyboy in Thailand? Who is going to sort of point out to them, you're a ladyboy? Who is going to make it difficult for them?
Friends.
I think friends. Yes. Sometimes, when you're young, for example, when you like go to school, primary school, when you 7 or 8 years, people like, oh, you're Ladyboys, and then try to bully them. Yeah, so they might feel sad, but nowadays I think it's more
Many
accepted.
people, yeah, acceptable.
Yeah, it's accept from everyone.
It's like a normal.
Yeah,
I
normal
think
things.
one part of this come from like everyone accept them because their beauty. Nowadays there's a lot of beauty contest, and we got like a very beautiful like feminine like boy Trishada who become so popular not only in Thailand but overseas as well. She's become the famous actress. Yes, so this one is like a really promote Thailand.
Well, they have the Miss Tiffany contest, which is the beauty contest.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of influencers. So they are Ladyboys, and people like to hear and learn and from them.
The other time in the news cycle each year is when we notice the Ladyboy culture here is when they have the draft for the military, and the Ladyboys arrive there and say, I'm here drafting for the military, and they go, no. So the military don't want them at this stage, so they haven't quite got over the issue yet, have they? Okay, good. Right. So then now the next one, we're going to move into another topic, and this is about the COVID situation in Thailand. Okay. Now, for 6-7 months, Thailand had an enviable situation where it contained and controlled the numbers. And then, of course, we've had the recent outbreak. But the government has sort of jumped on that, and they're trying again to contain it with less draconian restrictions this time. So how do you think the Thai government has coped with the COVID situation? B?
I don't think the actual number that report in the news about COVID test, found that infected with COVID, it's really true. Because I think by seeing the percentage or the proportion of the people who going to do the complete the test, it's only very little, too little. Yes. Partially, I think it's because there might be two groups of people. The first group is so panic. I'm so afraid of this. So every time that they have the symptom, they just go right away to the hospital and get the test. And some of the other people, they say, no, I'm fine. COVID cannot do anything to me. So they won't go to the test.
Jimmy?
Yeah, for me, I think the money is the issue too, because the COVID situation is a lot of unemployment in Thailand. And some people, they might have symptoms, but they stay at home because they don't have money to pay for the test. Sometimes, I experienced this myself because my girlfriend, she has 3 symptoms, and then we went to the hospital, so they refused to do the test for free, so it turned out she had to pay for the test even she have the symptoms. So that's the reason why I think the number is not an actual number. Sometimes we might have COVID in the system, but we don't have money, we can't afford to go to the hospital to do the test.
And if you had COVID, would there be a stigma? Would people go, don't go near their house, they've got COVID in the house,
Yes.
close down the village?
Yes.
Bea, what's your thoughts?
I think it's not the real number, because also the financial issue Thailand have. I think in Germany they find the real number, but in Thailand they don't do that. So
they do more active testing.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been overwhelmed hospitals or dead bodies lying on the side of the roads. So COVID clearly isn't rampant in Thailand. But you still don't believe the numbers?
So sometimes it might be more, I think.
Okay. All right. Are you worried about catching COVID? Any of you?
Yes.
Okay. But you know that young people catching COVID, the vast majority of them will recover.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and you're all young.
I think we're not afraid for the COVID. If we have a COVID, we just go to the hospital and get them treated. Yeah, as soon as possible, and try to stay away from the people that we loved,
And you can stay away from me too.
But I have heard
Please.
that if I am young but I can recover, but it's not good for my lung, when you have a scar.
And of course you then are a carrier and you could pass it on to other people. Yeah. Interesting situation. What's your family's attitude about COVID? Are they worried about catching it? They want to avoid it?
I think they might worry, but they don't express that feeling because they want their kids to go home. Whenever I just try to be away a little bit from my parents, but they say not to worry, just come back home, like that.
Okay. All right, so our final topic today is last year there was the bad student protests as part of the broader protests that were going on. But there were students who were going out there as part of the general movement saying, we don't like being told how to cut our hair, we don't like being told what we're wearing, we want to wear our own clothes, not uniforms. We don't like the idea of lining up at 8 a.m. and singing the national anthem. But what's your attitude, having gone through all that yourselves as students, what's your attitude towards the bad student protests? Jimmy?
I think uniform, they talk about the uniform, and I quite agree with them about the uniform. No matter the uniform you wear or your own style, so it doesn't affect the study. But the other thing I think they do too much is about spray on the wall or something, and not pay respect to the teacher. That's one I don't like it. Teacher want us to be a good person, so we study, we get to learn from them. So they need to pay more respect for the teacher.
So B, when you were at school, did you have the white blouse, the black dress, and the hair tied back? And
Yes, and I always had the questions at that time, but no one dared to speak it out. So I think the children in this generation, they speak on behalf of my gen as well. Yes, and I think this is come from social media, that everyone can freely share the comments or opinions on some topics. Yeah, so that's why they did that. But I think they try to find the explanation from the people who set up this rule, but there's no direct or correct answer that will tell them why they have to do that.
And B, did you have friends at school who sort of rebelled against the school rule? What about you? Well, you've got nice short hair now.
It's my style.
It is your style.
I think it's the way people dress, it not affect how they their attention to learn in the university or school, it's not affect.
Okay, so what do you think? What if we abolished uniforms tomorrow in Thai schools? Would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
This one, pro and con. For example, in America, no one wear uniform and everything. I mean, their structure is good, their curriculum is good, students are good. In Japan, there still be a uniform.
Yes.
And their education system is perfect. So it's pro and con, where we have to see and pick up the good things and just stop the bad things. So it's just try to balance the thing.
Jimmy, if you were at school now, would you be part of the bad student movement saying I want to wear my own uniform, my own clothes?
Yeah, I want to wear my own clothes too. I used to break the rule a lot. Last time, they want to have the straight hair, short hair like beer, but I never have it. I have this style all the time, and then they call me and say you cannot do this, you cannot do that. But I still get good grade. My GPA is more than 3 point up.
I think in contrast, if they allow students to dress what they want, I think they will more pay attention to the study.
Okay. So I went through a school, I had a uniform, but it was actually quite a nice uniform. I didn't mind wearing it. But the Thai school uniform is...
Boring. Not sorry.
Because we used to have a school tie, and they used to sort of talk about the image of the school and stuff. So and we had nice blazers with a logo and the whole private
and I think
schoolboy thing.
It's related to your previous question about the Ladyboys. Sometimes their mind is a girl. They want to wear a skirt, but they can't. They have to wear pants. I don't want to wear a skirt. I just want to wear pants because it's easy to walk or run or something like that. But we can't because of the uniform said, okay, you're a girl, you have to wear a skirt. You're a boy, you have to wear pants.
Did the school principal or the council have any determination on if you could change anything in the uniform, or it's decided by the government and that's it?
I think it should be depend on the school policy as well.
Yeah.
For example, like international schools, quite some of international schools here, some children don't need to wear uniform. So it depends. But for all like the government schools, it depends on the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
Yeah, to set the rule, because this one is under control.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you all very much. It's our third episode of Ask the Thais, and you've done brilliantly. Bia, Jimmy, and B, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
And if you want to make any contributions to questions to the team in the future, then you can put a comment underneath. We always read all your comments, and we delete a few as well. But from everybody here, oh, by the way, I should apologise for some of the alarms you heard. That's people at the main door here. So that was the noise you heard in the background. We apologise for that. But thank you for joining us on Ask the Thais at the Thaiger.